Thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis education in both the stock market and cryptocurrency worlds. See the links in the description of this video for more information on our two courses, Entries and Exits on the Fundamentals of Technical Analysis, as well as our new course on Trading Cryptocurrency Strategy. Purchase both and receive a 20% off bundle discount. Thanks for checking us out. Let's get on to the technical analysis. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good Friday. Today is a wonderful day to be a trader. We have blue sky breakout on Bitcoin, and a lot of you know that I am also interested in the MJ sector. Canadian MJ bouncing today. We've got a bunch of names up 6 to 9%. Money to be made all over the place, and I do love being versatile and being able to jump from different sectors and different trading vehicles, so there's always something to be trading. Like yesterday, cryptocurrencies had nothing going on, or at least the big three had nothing going on yesterday. But there's always other places to be looking, which is why I like looking at stocks. I like looking at the Canadian MJ sector, and I like looking at cryptos. I've got, portions of my portfolio spread out all over the place, so I'm able to act where the volume and the volatility is. So here on Bitcoin, beautiful breakout on the daily time frame, and we saw the consolidation, and it was a very, very clear breakout, and I'll show you why on the shorter term time frames. But this ended up being a bull flag of consolidation. We had that all-out dump, which ended up being a wonderful entry point for holding long term. Obviously, we couldn't assume that we were going to hit new all-time highs after that dump, but we certainly have a lot of follow-through on that bounce. It was a big bullish reversal, Dragonfly Doji, and I'm going to look at that bounce a little bit as well because there were some clues there, not necessarily that we were going to hit new all-time highs, but enough clues to show us that we were going to see continuation. Also, in the coming future, we've got the crypto alert system for the chart guys, and we're going to be adding 5 new indicators to that at the end of the month. We're going to be going live and discussing what those indicators are. Some of them you've heard of, some of them we've created, and looking forward to that launch. So here on Bitcoin, this is a bull flag that I just drew, this parallel healthy consolidation. The fact that the bulls bought that dip, if we had not bought that dip and we had closed the day down here, then it would not have been a bull flag. But because we were able to recover and close up here, this is after a breakout, a healthy channel, and then continuation. And that bull flag was confirmed as soon as we hit a new all-time high. So here, zooming in, the 4-hour time frame is what I was watching, and I posted a chart this morning in the chat room where we had our equilibrium pattern. So it got very tight where we had our high of the 4-hour bull move. We had our low of consolidation, lower high, higher low. Inside bar, bull break. Look at the volume, just stair-stepping its way down, lower, lower. The tighter you get, the more volume drops off, and the volume spike and the break of the pattern indicate the move. So every trader jumped on that was waiting for it because we had resistance of the inside bar 56.79. And if you're going by inside bars alone, you got that signal at 56.79 and have now seen $300 of upside in just a few hours. So extremely strong move. And again, I just love this setup because it's so clear. If you are used to trading stocks and you see this pattern over and over again, equilibrium, tightening up, inside bar, bull break. If you look at that on the hourly time frame, you can see the high, low, lower high, higher low, volume non-existent. Look at how clear that is on the hourly time frame. When volume gets this low, you know a break is imminent. And the clear break was when the volume spiked in. And this was a little bit of a heads up, but it was really this candlestick right here that saw that follow through. And now we're consolidating, and the bulls are not done just yet. We are still within striking distance of trying to get over this $6,000 level. And I say that because the 15-minute time frame is seeing healthy consolidation. If I were to draw a pattern here of consolidation, and I don't even really want to do that. I want to just be looking at price levels, so I'm not going to do that. So price levels, the high here is 59.75, and we're grinding against that right now. Support is 59.55 right here, that low. So this tells me in this tiny range right now, if we break 59.75, we're going to test 6,000. If we break this 59.55 level, our support is 58.92. That's the level that the bulls want to hold in order to maintain the ability to see a break of that $6,000 level. If we break this low of 58.92, we're going to start seeing more prolonged consolidation. So at this point, it is still very healthy consolidation, and we're rejecting against that level by $1 right now. And if we get that break, again, I do anticipate we have 59.88 and then the all-time high 59.97. There's going to be a wall of resistance on 6,000. If we break 6,000, I would assume we're going to go to 6,100 right away, very quickly. So keep an eye out for it because we might not be done for this afternoon. Checking in on Ethereum, poor Ethereum bulls. This is why, in my opinion, you want to be agile and not in long-term positions, because if you're sitting in Ethereum, you're missing out on these gains that are had in other places. So we have a pullback right now underway. We have the same kind of buying of the dip that we saw on Bitcoin. One point I want to make correlations here with the big three. The more volume and volatility you have, the stronger the correlation between all these names. So as the volume and volatility dropped out as the bounce was recovering from 2 days ago, then we saw the correlation start to break. It wasn't as strong. So again, always remember that volume plus volatility is the strongest correlation you'll see. That's when the bots are all syncing up. That's when everybody in the market is looking in the same direction. And then that fades. So it's faded significantly for Ethereum, where we had this bullish reversal candlestick at that point, very much in line with Bitcoin, and then now just fading. And as we know that ETH BTC, to be watching what the correlation between the two is just getting crushed in favor of Bitcoin. We have oversold conditions right now. The 4-hour chart is oversold. So this would tell me, we've seen oversold 4-hour bounces in the past, and this would tell me that Ethereum, again, is getting set up once we see Bitcoin consolidate from all-time highs, which might happen, tomorrow if we continue seeing bull action over 6,000. But we do know that once we hit 20 on this 4-hour RSI, that's the time to start looking for an Ethereum bounce. Look back here in just the past month plus, 1, 2, 3 touches of 20 are when we bounced. Doesn't mean we can't bounce before that, but that tells me that even though we're oversold under 30 right now, we still have a ways to go. We could still have a ways to go before a bounce gets underway. So looking at Ethereum itself, daily time frame, not really much information in terms of support. We can see very clear lower highs. We look at the 4-hour time frame, and we had an all-out dump, a short-term bounce, and a lack of follow-through. We saw a follow-through on Bitcoin and Litecoin, not on Ethereum. So I've been watching the hourly time frame, and today I was setting up a support level at 305, and this 305 level keeps coming into play time and time again on Ethereum, so much so that it's almost like if we're over 305, I'm looking bullish, and if we're under it, I'm looking bearish. It's that significant, and the amount of times it's come into play time and time again, acting as both resistance and support. So I can see it resistance back here, and I'm zooming way out, but resistance, 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 and now support, support. We did dip below it briefly, and we did see some correlation with Bitcoin breaking out, but not significant in any way. Support is 303.01. Look at this clear lower high pattern on the hourly. 316.21, 314.07, 313.06, 311.53. It's just continuous lower highs. As long as that is the case, the bears have momentum in their favor. We have to form higher lows. Maybe this is a higher low at 306.01, but we have to get over 311.53 to then set the higher high. So we have a clear lower high, lower low pattern, potentially a higher low, but I don't care about that unless we get that higher high and follow through. So again, Ethereum, not seeing much action. This is what was going on Ethereum when Bitcoin was breaking out. Some bullish action and some bull volume behind it, but quickly erasing those moves, and now just not a whole lot of upside. So in my opinion, it's going to require an inverse correlation to Bitcoin again for Ethereum to get going. If it's not going to get going on a direct correlation, it's going to have to be an inverse correlation when that ratio, that ETH BTC chart I just showed you, when that gets oversold enough that it is going to see a bounce. Litecoin following Bitcoin pretty well. We have the bullish reversal candlestick on the daily on that dump, and we have seen follow through. So you saw Ethereum where we were drifting back down towards the lows. Bitcoin and Litecoin are seeing continuation. So the 4-hour time frame for Litecoin, I was watching this pattern, which I'll show you on the hourly time frame, another one that I posted this morning. But we had resistance here at 61.85, and we broke it to 62.20, but then started pulling back. So technically that is a higher high, and we had a bull break of a descending triangle. Here's our descending triangle with lower highs. I normally draw my trend lines from real bodies, but you have a setup like this, and you can see it's a very clear lower high pattern. But because of the real bodies of these candlesticks, I couldn't draw a downtrend on that. So I shift to the wicks in that scenario because I know it's a lower high pattern that I want to draw and keep an eye on, but the real bodies weren't cooperating with where they closed. So it's a clear lower high pattern, a horizontal base of support, and we saw a clear breakout. This is the correlation to Bitcoin where we saw significant gains in the short term. We got extremely tight on the hourly, and again, what stood out? The lack of volume. So I cannot stress that enough. When we see a range tighten to the point where volume becomes non-existent, you know to just stare at your screen and have your order filled out and your finger on the trigger, because we didn't know it was going to be a bull break. It could have just as easily been a bear break, but we know a break is coming and a spike in volume is coming with it. So we had a bull move. Our new higher low of support is 60.27 and resistance is 62.20. So looking for an equilibrium pattern to play out with our high, low, a lower high, higher low tightening range until we see what Bitcoin's going to do, because we do have a very strong correlation between Litecoin and Bitcoin. It's kind of Ethereum standing on the sidelines time and time again and not seeing as much a correlation as those other two. So where we look at, I want to look at Ethereum's weekly chart again, because this equilibrium pattern is playing out really nicely with our high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high. We could very easily pull back on Ethereum to stay in this pattern down into the 260s. So just keep that in mind overall. We could drop another 10% and still be very comfortably within this pattern. So I'm going to be cautious on Ethereum as that is the case, because that could be possible if we see the correlation pick up again. If Bitcoin pulls back and we don't see an inverse correlation with Ethereum, then Ethereum's going to pull back with it, and I will be looking down in the 260s, 270s. That's something to be keeping in mind. So that's where we stand on the big three. I want to check Bitcoin again one more time, because we might be breaking this 6,000 level while I'm talking. And we just broke 59.75, so we're closer now. And I'm going to go and scalp a 6,000 break if it does occur, and just quick flip, because we are pretty extended, but would be looking for about a $75 move I'd be happy with. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you watching. I hope you all have a good weekend. I'm going to be away for the weekend for the next couple of days. I'll be back on Sunday, and we'll check back in from there. But the bulls in full control of Bitcoin, still further upside entirely possible, and the bulls have a key test coming up.